Okay, in today's video, I want to talk about financial plan, all right? Not even financial plan. I want to talk about the financial plan. I think this is such an important topic that I'm making my own video specifically about it. So let's start here. You know, what is it? I define a financial plan as really a framework that you can use for decision making, okay? It's going to outline your vision, your values, your goals, okay? And it's also going to help articulate the tools, the strategies, and the tactics that you're using to accomplish those things, all right? They have to work together. We all have a movie in our head of how we want, you know, our life and with ourselves and our loved ones to play out. But we have to make sure that what we're doing, you know, kind of financially is in alignment with that. Otherwise, they're just sort of two separate paths that aren't intertwined. Okay. Let me mention too what a financial plan is not. Going to somebody, having, filling out a questionnaire, they put in the data entry and they spit out a, 300-page report with just graphs and charts that sits on your, no, that is not a financial plan. That's a waste of time, okay? Financial plan is a very personal thing and specific to you, okay? Think of it this way. If something happened to you today, what would your spouse do, right? Where would they go to, figure out what to do next? Now, this is an extreme example, but that financial plan is that checklist. It's that guide. And it's not just for if something happened. It's about other aspects of your life as well, okay? Look, here's an example. I got one right here. We got a financial plan. We've got the different components of it, but this is all specific to each person, okay? So let's break down some of the components of the plan. Now, the first one is income. All right? Where are you deriving your income now, and where are you going to derive it in the future? That's kind of the overarching concept around it, right? You got pensions, Social Security, dividends, rental income, these types of things, right? So that's an income plan. And there's a lot that goes into that. Taxes have a big impact on this, but that's one part of it. The next part is an investment plan. Now, a lot of people that are watching this video have had some sort of investment plan done. Maybe they've had somebody review their statements. They've taken a look at things like, what's in the portfolios? What's the risk of all these investments put together? What are the costs of them? Are there some ways to save some money there? What are will this stay ahead of taxes and inflation? Those types of things, okay? But a lot of times where this falls short is the investment plan is not a part of a bigger financial plan. So, what we're working for with the investment plan is something as, frivolous as, are we getting the best return we can get? And there's a lot more to investments than just getting the highest rate of return, all right? So let's go to the next one here, tax. Probably could have put that one right at the top because this is certainly the one we get asked about the most. But regarding tax, now there's a difference between tax preparation, and tax planning. Now, tax prep is, hey, you might do it yourself, TurboTax. You might have a CPA that helps you do your taxes. All of that stuff is, kind of what I say, looking backwards. It's what happened last year. Let's assemble all the numbers and data and then file our return. But tax planning is an entirely different animal, okay? And very few CPAs do this, right? I mean, people think that their CPA is doing this stuff for them. And I'm not knocking CPAs, but how many times is your CPA calling you and saying, hey, look, this tax law changed. I think if we made this adjustment, it would help us out either next year or in the future, right? It just doesn't happen that much. Or maybe you go to him or her and say, oh, I heard about this. What do you think? And then they'll do the analysis for you. But very rarely do they proactively do this. This is part of a financial plan. It's an important part, all right? Another one is health. I think a lot of times we're so used to getting health coverage through our corporate or employer. It's usually very good. It's usually very robust. But what happens as we get later in life? We'll say 65 at retirement. maybe we're no longer on a company plan, or maybe you're an entrepreneur at a younger age, and you're no longer covered by a company plan. Now you've got to figure out an option for yourself. Okay, so that's another component for it. The fourth one is legacy. Now, legacy, what we're talking about is transferring money to loved ones, causes, charities, those types of things, both during life and at death, okay? Now, this is commonly referred to, or you might see the concept of an estate plan. This kind of falls under the legacy component of a financial plan. Again, kind of like an investment plan, an estate plan could stand on its own. In fact, there's a great estate planning attorney that we work with just across the street. And you might just go and get that specific plan. It might be more impactful if it's in relation to an overall financial plan. But if you have something, simple like you need a trust or a will done, you might come in and have maybe a simpler estate plan done on its own. Okay. And then the last part I'll put down here is, insurance. Now, with insurance, we're all familiar with fire insurance you have for your house, car insurance you have, on the automobiles that you have. Maybe you have term insurance to protect your family during your working years. And then there's other insurance options, which again might tie into estate planning as you get into bigger or more complex estates. Insurance has, insurance has a big place in that part of planning because of the taxable nature of it and the leverage and flexibility. But so collectively, by doing a financial plan, okay, we're taking all of these different areas and we're making sure that basically they all play nice with each other, okay? Are your investments in line with your tax planning? Are they aligning you to maximize, your income now and in the future when you're not working? Does it have a health component to it? Because no plan is complete without a health component. And then, is it staying in line with your, your values and your vision of legacy, along with the insurance? So those are the concepts within there. Now, I want to say, you might be asking yourself, like, do I need a plan? Do I have enough? Or, maybe you've got a plan, you think that's covered it all. I mean, if you're 30 years old, I'll just kind of put this here, and, you make a small shift, let's say a 1% change, maybe you get a tax advantage from something, or maybe your investments, you lower your cost 1%, something of that nature, and there's a 1% incremental gain. I mean, over 35 years, that could have a really big difference, in the outcome, right? $1 here might equal substantially more. I got 2 here and 3 here. Anyways, I think you get the point I'm trying to make. It's that a small hinge can move, some big doors with a lot of time. Now, what if you're maybe middle age, right? Maybe you're 50. You might say, well, I don't have that much time. That 1% or 2% change might not have a big impact. But, at this age, you might have more wealth accumulated, right? So the stakes are much higher now. And you have less time, really, if you make a mistake, to make it up. So whether you're just starting out, setting up and taking a look at some of these things, it's going to help you as you approach life's milestones. It's really going to help you think about them before they happen, okay? Again, whether you're starting out, whether you're a seasoned professional, I think a financial plan is one of the key things that you can do to really impact your financial future. I'll just kind of finish with this. What do people really want? Is it to accumulate as much money as possible? Well, not really. It's what does accumulating as much money as possible allow them to do? And those are the things that come out in the financial plan, and they get planned for. And when they get planned for, they happen. So I hope this was helpful. Be sure to subscribe. If there's anything we can do to help you with your planning needs, be sure to reach out, and we'll see you in the next video.